Hello, my name is Tomasz Poszetek, and in this video I would like to showcase you the new feature that is coming to be available in August in PowerFx Agents that will finally allow you to post and to display adaptive cards directly using PowerFx Agents UI, not through bot framework or the bot composer. So this new feature, it will be, I think, in preview in the first months or weeks of its availability. So I think it will have some downsides and it won't work perfectly. I am as well facing some issues that I will show you just in a moment, and I would love to see lots of more functionalities. And well, I hope that they will be incorporated or added over the time. All right, so with that having said, let's get down to the demos. So I'm using this PowerFx Agents preview version that you can see. It is very different to what you have right now in the general availability version. I can even risk a statement that is slightly a different product or even a new version of the product. But most of this feature you will see in the September release. And you'll see them as well while I will be showcasing you how you can finally alter these adaptive cards. All right, so, well, let's go to the topic. So the topic is quite simple. So once it is triggered, it is then asking the user to provide information about their location, about the city. And here, I'm using this entity city so that it should extract city name from user's response. And then I'm calling the Cloudflow, which is built this way. So first, it's obtaining the current weather conditions for the given city. Then I have built a table of all possible weather conditions that I have collected over the past 3 years from MSN Weather. So I hope I have a complete list of weather conditions. Well, maybe without the night weather conditions. Nevertheless, for each weather condition, there is an SVG data URI provided. So like for, well, you saw there was cloudy and light rain and lots of more. So this table contains, I hope, a complete list of possible weather conditions that MSN can return. And then the next step is to filter this array of possible weather conditions and to return only that one which is returned from MSN. And this first, because this is the filter array is still returning a table or an array, therefore I'm assigning to the icon variable the first value, the first URL returned by the filter array. Now, if for any reasons this variable is empty, then I'm simply assigning to the var icon, the variable icon, some default SVG icon of the weather. And lastly, the Cloudflow is returning to PowerFx Agent some information. So information about the pressure, humidity, temperature, those weather conditions, the icon, and the location of the user. Why? Because I would like PowerFx Agent to display this kind of adaptive card. So the adaptive card with information about location, the date, icon of the current weather conditions, temperature, and I'll just try to replace this high and low with the humidity and temperature and pressure. All right. So what I need to do is now, okay, let's try first the most intuitive approach. So I'll just copy this adaptive card content. I'll navigate back to PowerFx Agent, and right now I need to add a message, right? So I'm adding a message. Here in the message, by default, you don't have information or the availability to just paste JSON of adaptive card. Well, if you do, it will simply display this as a text. So no, this is not the right approach. However, here under the Add menu, you have an option to add multiple possible other types of messages. So you can add a message variation that will be displayed like instead of the original one. So like if you're still triggering the same topic, then not to bore a user with the same answers over and over again, the bot is able to simply display different answers to the same questions or to the same in the same communication. You can display a simple image. You can display a video. You can display just a basic card, which is built from this title, subtitle, image, and text. So call it like a hero card. Or you can display an adaptive card, which is what we want to do. So right here, you have the adaptive card. You are either able to edit a JSON of the adaptive card or the formula. Now with the formula, you can open this editor, and here you can, at least according to documentation, use a basic PowerFx expressions. Now by default, it displays you this JSON. Now what I was experimenting, what I was trying to do was somehow to make it dynamic. So what I tried was, for example, to copy some piece of the JSON so that this adaptive card actually displays something. It's not just an empty adaptive card. And to see if it works. However, what I found out is that it doesn't really work. So here I have now a valid JSON of an adaptive card. Let's save it, and I'll just show you how that is going to be displayed. So let's say I want to display it for Warsaw. Right? And what is returned here is just an empty card. So there is no information. I mean, this adaptive card is not really parsed correctly. However, if I do return or replace now this adaptive card with the regular one, so instead of that one, I'll just simply use the basic one. And now let's ask right? So this adaptive card is now being displayed, returned and displayed. So here it works. Now, what I would like to do, of course, is to grab this adaptive card as it is, paste it here, and then replace some text with dynamic values returned by this Cloudflow. So let's see if I can do that. All right, there is some kind of an error. Okay, because adaptive card version is not supported. Right. So the maximum version of the adaptive card that is currently supported is the 1.4. That is something you have to be aware of. And it works, right? So it displays all this information. It displays the icon. But because the adaptive card in the designer is using the data binding, therefore there is a lot of adaptive card templating language used to display values that would be formatted, that would be taken from the data set and then displayed in adaptive card. So here I don't have an option to use data binding. However, what I would like to do is to somehow insert here information about, for example, the location. Now, when I use a new action that is called set a variable value, which is really awesome, here I as well am able to use the formula. So something that you do have as well present inside the adaptive card action. So now if I would like to insert a dynamic value, I need to start typing by topic and then dot. And here I have a list of all those variables that I can use. So for example, location. And with that, I would be able, for example, to set the variable location to current variable, or the new variable to the current topic values, to the current value of the var location variable. So now I would like to take this expression, and then here in adaptive card, I would like to use it. So let's go into formula, right? Because right in here, there is like no option to put it. So if I put it like here, it is going to be treated as a string. Really, trust me, I tried it. So this is going to be a string. It won't be parsed as the value. You don't trust me? No problem. I'll show you. Right? So topic var location. It was not parsed as the variable. It is just displayed as a string. And because this is just a JSON, I really can't do this dynamic in here. So I can't remove the quotes, because if I do that, I will see an error that this adaptive card is simply malformed, that there is an error in the data. If I, try to do anything that we know from the PowerFx, like do the concatenation, this is still not going to work. This is still not going to allow me to use this adaptive card because it is still invalid JSON. So here you are unable to do any kind of dynamic insertion of those variables. So let's try and switch to the formula. And here I just have a valid JSON, right? So all those quotes were removed as previously, as you remember, and I have just now this JSON. So as you as well remember from the first try, even if this JSON is valid, it is not going to be displayed as the adaptive card. So what I want to try again is to get rid of this adaptive card that I have been modifying. And I want to use this very simple adaptive card. And now what I want to do is to get this JSON that is here. I want to copy it. And with the use of the Visual Studio, I want to simply put it in line and then just have one line of a string. So I'll add this block of text as well here. Okay, let's just get rid of these. And here I will switch to formula. And I'll insert this. So again, it is not correct. So let's close it, save. And again, it works. So now let's do another test. If I'm able to insert not the fixed value, but the variable. So topic var location. Well, it seems it's working. So let's do another test. Ta-da! So this way you are able to actually use an adaptive card within the action that you want to make a dynamic. So you have to use the formula and you have to escape your adaptive card, using this simple string notation. All right. So now what I will do is to prepare a JSON of an adaptive card I want to use and paste it here. Here is the JSON that I want to use. And right now I need to input some values. So first I have the location. So I need to use the topic dot location, right? So the first was location. Then I want to use the date, right? So the second place was the date. So here, what I can do is to use format, maybe date time format. Yeah, sounds legit. And let's say now. Okay, and then maybe there is like a parameter. Nope. So datetime value, maybe, yes, datetime value. And now, okay, this one works, so let's leave it for now. Then I need to put the URL here. So again, let's do it that way, that I'll just use topic and then icon. And then there is an alt text for the topic, which should say the topic conditions. Next, so there is one quote too much, right? Next, we need to put something in here. This is temperature. Okay, and lastly, we have like two blocks, two facts that we have to put value in. So the first one is the humidity, and the second one, I'll just copy that. It will be faster. Or if I were able to. So this designer, the formula editor, it is quite often becoming unresponsive, like now. I hope it won't crash. Okay, it's back online. So pressure. Okay, so now it seems that I do have my card built and it's ready and is dynamic. So let's see if this is going to work fine. Ta-da! Beautiful, right? So with that, I was able to actually construct this adaptive card directly within the Power Virtual Agent designer, and I was able to make it work. Just to show you that this is really working dynamically, let's ask for a different location. In Orlando. And then for Orlando, okay, it's the same icon, but different temperature. So let's try another city. And what can I ask? Maybe Berlin. Okay, in Berlin we have more clouds, right? So now if I hover, it doesn't display the alt text, but at least the icon is different. So I can assume that it works. Now, the other approach that we could try and utilize instead of doing this kind of concatenation and working directly within the Power Virtual Agent is obviously to design the adaptive card, to prepare all the contents of the adaptive card directly in the cloud flow. So let's say I want now here to be to create this adaptive card. So I'll use the action compose. And let's call it. Now I have the code already prepared, so I'll just copy it and paste it here. With all these dynamic outcomes from the previous actions. So the only thing I need to change obviously is that the version cannot be 1 point, it has to be 1.4, not 1.5. And I want to return this adaptive card as one of those variables that are being returned to Power Virtual Agent. Okay. right? So now again, here is a cool feature that allows me to simply refresh the action. I don't really have to delete it and create it again. So I'll just refresh it. Now the new outcome is already seen. I just need to define the input variables. And here right now, what I can do is to simply, replace this formula that I have with what? With just topic adaptive card. So let's see if this is going to work right now. Toronto, maybe. For Toronto, now it's pure sun, very sunny, 28 degrees, slight wind. So now that was a different approach, but it still works, right? Previously, like before this support for adaptive cards was introduced, if you were trying to return an adaptive card from Cloudflare to PowerFx agent, it would be simply displayed as a text, not parsed into adaptive card. Right now it is working. All right, so now I'll just refresh it, and let me show you one more thing, because you can as well display adaptive card in an action that is the question. So you can not only use adaptive cards in messages, but as well in questions. So in here, you are as well able to put adaptive card inside the content. Let's switch it to the entire response. Let's, let's say that I want to, not set variable, that I want to simply write a message that is going to contain the variable. That is the response. So what I would like to try now is, if it is going to be possible, to simply use adaptive card in this scenario, not only to display information, but as well to grab users' response. So I'll use a different adaptive card. Well, maybe this one. Copy this code. Oh, not here, but in here. Let's just change the version to 1.4. All right, so the adaptive card is displayed. Well, it should be using as well these data. I think it was like that you should put within the code. Let's see if this works. No, it doesn't work. Well, maybe it will work during the rendering. So now, as said, you're able to put this adaptive card code directly into the message. Let's save it now, and let's see how this will behave now. Okay, so the first one works, and now there is the second displayed. So the second one was about the stake. Unfortunately, data binding doesn't work, or I used the wrong structure. So let's say I would like to put some information here and press OK. Well, but it seems there is nothing returned. So I assume that unfortunately it's not possible to actually put a form into the adaptive card that is displayed within the PowerFx agent. So if you do that, and if it does work for you, then please let me know in comments what have you made to make it actually work. Right now, the only way to grab the response is obviously to type the message. So here the adaptive card could be used to display the question, but the user still has to provide their answer straight into the message box. Right? So well, it worked. Okay. All right. So that's it. Thank you very much for spending this long time with me. I hope that you are as excited as I am, although maybe not everything is working the way we would expect it to work, and maybe authoring of the adaptive card within PowerFx agent is not as easy, again, as I would like it to be. So I would really like it to be as easy as it is in Power Automate, so that you can simply just put a code of an adaptive card into the designer, like here, and then simply enter the dynamic variables directly into the JSON, and that those dynamic variables would be, turned into text values or into values behind them when the card is being created. But unfortunately, in PowerFx agents, it doesn't work this way. So you have to actually create adaptive card content, then switch into, as you remember, the formula. And in formula, you need to put adaptive cards content into quotes. So you have to turn it into just a regular string, not a JSON. And only then you are able to use PowerFx to concatenate it with dynamic values from variables that are being created during the topic execution. I don't know if this is going to be changed, or my gut feeling is that this is going to be this is going to stay this way, because this is why we have the PowerFx formula compose box. So it's better that we start learning how to actually concatenate strings and work with strings in PowerFx. So, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please put them down in comments below. And once more and one last time, the reminder, this functionality, it should be in a preview in August, so quite soon. Once again, thank you. Please subscribe. Please like the video, and as usual, until the next time, bye bye.